So today on the Zen Sessions, I'm joined by Papa Roach guitarist Jerry Horton. Thanks for joining us today, Jerry.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so Greatest Hits Volume 2 out March 19. So a lot of bands generally release a Greatest Hits, you know, contractually, or maybe the band's over. That's not the case with Papa Roach. What did you guys want to make sure was different about releasing a quote unquote Greatest Hits?
Well, it's the first time that Universal did it, we weren't happy about it because our mindset was that, or at least I think the consensus at the time was that if a band released a greatest hits, it was kind of like their career was done, and they were just doing that, as kind of a last thing. And they didn't tell us that they were doing it, so we got all upset about it. And then 10 years later, Better Noise came to us and said, we want to do a greatest hits, but we want you guys to be on board with it. And we'll call it Volume 2. And we're going, wow, okay. Yeah, we started looking at the track listing, and it's like most of them are singles. And we're thinking, how cool is that? We have not one greatest hits, but two greatest hits. And we want to, we knew that we wanted to make it special for the fans. That's like, especially in this age of streaming and all the songs are already up there on the streaming platforms. For us, it was like, we just thought, well, let's make it a cool package for the hardcore fans that want to have a cool collector piece. And so, yeah, we did all that. We did the vinyl and the merch bundle and all those things. And I think we have a cool package that people are really gonna enjoy.
And when it came to remastering songs, were any significant sort of changes made to any that you maybe went, oh, I really wish we'd done this back in the day, let's do it now?
Well, I think, for the remastering part of it, it was kind of, the goal was to bring all the sonics kind of in line with the modern stuff. Just because the approach, not only was the technology different, but the approach was different. So nowadays we have so much more super tight, low end, very subsonic type frequencies that we didn't really use, 8 to 10 years ago. So just to bring everything in line, and especially for the vinyl, to have everything not necessarily sound the same, but not be so drastically different.
Sure. And you've got Danny from Asking Alexandria on a track. Now you've toured with them before, but what made him the right choice for that song?
I just think that his voice suits that song extremely well. I think that he's got obviously the range for it, and his voice has a lot of character to it. So it's recognizable, and his singing voice is awesome, and his screaming voice is just as great. So yeah, it just, not only was he obviously skilled enough to do it, but he's also a friend of ours. So it seemed just like a natural thing for us to do.
Sure. And you did a few acoustic tracks at YouTube. Now, when it comes to reimagining your tracks acoustically, was there any sort of songs that you thought, well, we've really got to rethink how we do this acoustically, or did they just sort of flow naturally like the electric versions?
No, Face Everything and Rise was a challenge. It's really nothing like I mean, obviously chord wise it's the same, but the style of it is totally different. And yeah, you just kind of, we just had to take the really basic, elements and play off those things instead of having that huge sounding guitar that has a bunch of riffy parts to it. You know what I mean? So it's a challenge, but I think it's cool if you can make it work and have it sound like a song that people want to listen to. You know.
Sure. Papa Roach are always sort of known for not, standing still, not waiting. Have you already started any processes for the next album beyond demos?
Yeah, we have 18 songs, and I would say probably 10 of those are close to being mixed. So we have a lot in the can, and we're looking hopefully to release something like a single this summer, and then a new one every month until possibly the end of the year or the beginning of next year for an album release.
Perfect. And you had the song Stand Up featured with UFC. Is that
Yes,
going to be part of the new album, or is that just going to be left on its own as a single unit?
I really don't think that we could leave that off of the album. I just think it's too good of a song, and we love it. I don't see us leaving it off.
Right. Now, this is a two-part question. Straight to the guitar playing aspect. Who are your influences younger, and who are your influences today?
Younger, it's a little bit easier. I think that for me, as starting out, I was listening to metal, so it was Metallica, um, Slayer, Testament, um, Megadeth. Just all the power thrash metal you could think of. That's what I was listening to, and over the years changed to, I was also listening to like industrial, so Nine Inch Nails and Skinny Puppy and that. And then lately, it's kind of all over the place. I really love the classics. Gilmour is still one of my favorite players, but then also, just weird riff stuff like the Prodigy and Periphery. I love that. I love their shit. I love, um, not to say that we're influenced by Periphery, but just certain elements of whether it's a tone or kind of like a rhythm kind of thing, that all those little things find a way to creep in. So
And are you the style of guitar player that practices every day, or just more, okay, I've got to do some writing, we're rehearsing, now it's time to sort of get my chops up again?
yeah, I'm more of the not I'm not constant. Like I'm a dad, so I'm, especially during this time, I really try to focus on family life. But yeah, during writing and getting ready for stuff is when I really start working on it hard.
Sure. Now we're going to go back a little bit. You were on the last ever Soundwave tour to hit Australia in 2015. It was a whirlwind, as someone that was on it himself.
Yeah.
I remember walking in, and you guys were on in Adelaide when I walked in, and it was just beyond hot. Middle of the day while you guys are on stage. What are your memories from
Mhm.
that run of shows?
Yeah, like you said, it was a whirlwind. It was uh I didn't feel like there was much rest at all. And the heat exhaustion was a thing. But it was awesome. It had been so many years since we'd been there, and um we really felt the energy and the love. And uh it's one of those, like, because we've been doing it for a long time, and we forget a lot of shows. Like, there's so many things that go by us that, in the moment they're cool, but it's kind of like the same as what we did, last year. But that run was something that, we remember. There was just like I said, the energy, love, and you know, meeting a lot of the fans that have been with us for ever since the beginning, and really just, you know, kind of taking the piss a little bit and saying, you know, well, what took you so long? But also just, you know, having that loyalty is it's an awesome thing, and it made it totally memorable, and we're ready to come back. So
And it's hard because if bands had their way, they'd be on tour all the time and always be able to get to Australia. And it's hard for fans to understand the logistics, you know, that you guys probably plan your tours a year out. And so, you know, it's
yep,
great when you get to come
yeah,
back.
yeah, and it's one of those things where it's hard to, like, financially we're just breaking even basically, and or, you know, we'll have to like book some more dates in Southeast Asia and that kind of stuff. So it's yeah, the business side of it is, it's not something that we really need to be talking about with the fans and stuff like that, but it's a consideration that we have to make. So
Yeah,
that is something that plays into it.
cool. And for the final question with us today, bit of a Truman Show moment. So,
Okay.
give fans, if they were going to, if you were in the Truman Show, you were the character, what would your day in the life kind of be like without going too personal?
You know, waking up, taking my kids to school, something I do every day, and then I come home and um, I work out. Um, and really, I'm doing things that need to be taken care of around the house. I'm uh, doing like little handyman fix it things, like homeowner things, and then also listening to mixes, handling some band business, um, and then, you know, playing a little guitar here and there, and picking the kids up from school, dinner, bed. That's how it's been, and it's a little bit of a Groundhog's Day situation, but because we've been, you know, on tour basically for 18 years, I'm trying to take full advantage of just being dad.
Sure. And anything you want to say to the friends in Australia?
Thank you for understanding for the last, you know, 10 years or whatever, how long it's been since that, you know, before Soundwave, and then yeah, 5 years since. But we really have love for Australia, and we're planning to come back. We just want to make it the right time, and we want to make it big, and we want to make it special. So thank you.
Perfect, Jerry. Excellent. That's all we need for today. Enjoy the rest of your day and thanks for
Cool.
being on the Zen Sessions.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.